Hi everyone, so I've been playing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet for, as you can see here, total playtime 137 hours. Now, the playtime for this game is actually based on frames in-game, not actual real-life time. So in terms of real-life time, I'm probably like 150, 160 hours into this game, and basically I've learned a lot about these games, and I wanted to share just sort of like all of the quality of life that this game has. A lot of it is really obvious stuff you already know about. Other stuff is some pretty cool stuff you might not have heard about. So we're just gonna do a little bit of a rant, you know, just a little bit of a spitting off the dome. I asked on Twitter what everyone's favorite quality of life is, and I have a list. But first, I think it's actually important to talk about what isn't in this game. So Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are actually missing the set option. In previous Pokemon games, you could change your battle style to set from Switch, which if you change it to set, basically it no longer asks you if you want to swap out your Pokemon because, you know, okay, you're battling a trainer, they send in an Arcanine, you send in an Azumarill, you take out the Arcanine, it will now always say, oh, this trainer is about to send in a Sceptile. Will you switch, yes or no? Whereas in older games, you could turn that off so they didn't tell you what was coming in and you would have to manually swap out. You can force yourself to play on set mode if you want by just mashing B and just not switching, but it's such a weird feature to remove, and it's definitely bad for Nuzlocke. So that is something that they did remove. Another thing they did remove was a lot of the quality of life in PC boxes. They kind of added some and kind of removed some. So in Pokemon Sword and Shield, to move an item around in a PC box, it was so easy. In this game, it's not as easy, even to move Pokemon around. So for example, in Pokemon Sword and Shield, I could grab all these Pokemon and then I could just move them to just a random PC box that has room, obviously, just by dropping them here and pressing A. But it doesn't work in this game. You can't just simply drop them here and press A. I don't know why that's a thing, but that is something they removed. And then, like I said, items aren't as easy to move around because you used to just be able to press X, and then I think you used to be able to press Y to just move the item around, but it's not really a thing in this game. You have to give to another Pokemon and just this whole extra sort of step. So items aren't as easily movable in PC boxes. But I guess that does lead me to one of the first cool quality of life things that you guys may not have noticed in this game. So in older Pokemon games, in Sword and Shield, for example, all the PC boxes have names. They're PC box 1 to 32. You can get more PC boxes by just putting one Pokemon in every box. So right now I think your limit, if you don't have 32 boxes, I think your limit is 16. So if you just put at least one Pokemon in every box, you will automatically just upgrade more boxes, and then do that again, and I'm pretty sure 32 is the maximum you can have. So basically, for example, in every Pokemon game plus Sword and Shield that you can move PC boxes around, if I were to swap a box 12 and box 13, box 12 and 13 would be swapped. Like this one right here would be box 13, and this one right here would be box 12. I hope I'm making sense in that regard. However, in this game, if you come here and, okay, let me just grab, so I'm going to swap box 22 with box 12. So in the older games, box 12 would now be in this spot here, and box 22 would be up here. But now, if I swap these two, it straight up swaps their names also. So box 22 is now filled with these. I feel like they might just straight up swap the Pokemon inside. I don't know. But it's really cool because, like, even the boxes with names, for example, if I swap Gang with box 14, Gang is now here, and this now becomes box 32. So really cool that they swapped that. They did obviously get rid of some quality of life from PC boxes that I'm not the most happy about, but that is something really cool that they've done. Something else they took away from the Sword and Shield was the ability to press the Y button on the Pokemon thing here and to swap them around. However, the Y button is now make lead Pokemon. So if I were to, okay, I want this Fuecoco to be the lead, it just automatically puts them to the top. A lot of people said that was their favorite quality of life. Personally, I prefer pressing Y and then just swapping them around manually, because now if I want to swap my team around and have a specific order, I have to press A and then press change position, and then that's how you do that. It's a small nitpick, but the same goes for items. You used to be able to press X, I believe, or maybe it wasn't X. You used to be able to press, I think it was Y actually, on the Pokemon and swap their items around. You can no longer do that. Item management definitely got a downgrade in this game. But besides that, for the most part, the quality of life in regards to your party and your PC, it's good, but it is missing a few things. However, that is most of the negative stuff out of the way. Everything else is kind of fire. So the biggest response in terms of quality of life that I got was auto healing. I'm sure you didn't miss this. I don't know why I moved my camera over here. I'm sure you didn't miss this because they literally tell you about it at the beginning of the game. But obviously, if your Pokemon's weakened, instead of going through your bag and, you know, just using healing items, if you press minus, it will just automatically heal it if you have the resources to do so. Very, very good change. I really hope that this continues to be a thing. I think, honestly, I think the quality of life in this game is perfect, and I hope that it just remains this way forever. Like the quality of life in this game is my favorite part, easily my favorite part of this game. The sheer quality of life this game has makes it so fun, and I really hope that they don't go back on anything. I really hope they just continue to improve it from here. But yeah, we're just scratching the surface. Another amazing quality of life is auto battles. A lot of this game relies on getting you know, crafting materials, and just being able to auto battle Pokemon definitely helps with that. It helps with shiny hunting. Like, auto battles is a huge part of the game. So again, I'm sure you guys didn't miss this. I'm sure you guys know about auto battling, but it is another huge quality of life that this game has. Now, trust me, we're gonna get into some interesting stuff soon, I promise. But other people's favorite quality of life is just the accessibility of the game. Like, just like you press Y, you can go anywhere. You don't need any special Pokemon. You can do it like off rip, like right from the start of the game. I started up a new Violet playthrough, and like very early on, you are able to fly around to locations you've been before. It's just so easily accessible. There's so many little fly points you can get to. Honestly, the transportation is perfect. I'm really glad that they made it easy and not something you have to slog through. So more quality of life is just how accessible competitive items are, and this is my personal favorite quality of life. You can literally find mints, like all these mints. I didn't buy these. I like either won them from tournaments or I found them on the ground. You can literally just find nature mints on the ground anywhere. I don't know if there's like a specific place you can grind them, because there are actually specific areas in this game where you can grind specific items. But the pure accessibility of nature mints, if you don't find them on the ground, you can buy them for 20k each. I believe a Chansey store or a Delibird store. Like I said, like, it's not just nature mints, it's competitive items in general. Competitive items, in the older games, you would need a crazy amount of battle points to get them, like 48 battle points, and the AI on the battles were like ridiculous. Like, the floor of entry and competitive in this game is at an all-time low. Like, anybody can make a competitive mon. All they have to do is grind a little bit of raids, to be honest. I mean, raids are hard, but there's ways to cheese them, you know? There's plenty of guides out there. You don't even need to do raids. You can just grind money. And if you manually EV train like I've been doing, you save a lot of money too. Like, people are buying 520,000 worth of vitamins for their Pokemon. I haven't been doing that. I've been manually training for the most part. But yeah, coming to Delibird presents, there's a few different across the region, and would you look at that? Look at all these competitive items. Like I said, there's more across the region. I think in Lavencia there's another Delibird presence with other competitive items. Like, you can just straight up buy them with your money, and yeah, they're a little pricey. Like, choice items are 100k, but it's so much better than battle points. And also, bottle caps are buyable for 20k each. So you can perfect a Pokemon's IVs. I mean, because most Pokemon only need 5 perfect IVs. You can perfect a Pokemon's IVs for 100k. And another thing about perfecting a Pokemon's IVs, they only have to be level 50 now. You only have to be level 50 to perfect a Pokemon. In the older games, it used to be level 100, but they've lowered it to level 50. If you come over here to this town, this guy right here, he will perfect it. Like I said, the Pokemon only have to be level 50 now. This Cyclozar is level 75. I can say yes, yep, and then we can use bottle caps, and yep, we can literally just we can perfect his Spadef if I wanted to. I mean, I'm not going to, because I'm probably just going to breed him because I want a shiny one. But like I said, no more crazy grind to level 100. You only have to do level 50, which makes sense because level 50 is literally the level that you battle at in VGC events. Another amazing quality of life that I actually always forget exists. If you come over here to a Pokemart man, you can sell things. And hey, there's an option down there that says bulk sell. If you press plus, you can sell these items in bulk, so you don't have to slog through everything. And you can do the same for buying items. You can buy items in bulk. So they literally just sold 150k made. Like, It's so easy, man. Another one is the designated Pokedex button. Someone said that they really like that. It's just the minus button now. I actually personally don't like it because the amount of times I've clicked minus thinking that it would open my map is insane, and I still do it to this day. I think it's maybe just, I think Legends Arceus had the minus button be for the map, maybe. I think that's maybe why. A little bit of muscle memory from that game, perhaps. But yeah, a designated Pokedex button. And, you know, I mean, another on the surface quality of life is just pressing X and your party Pokemon are right there. Like, I think one I will complain about is that if you want to access your profile, you have to go to the map, you have to press X, and then you have to go down to profile. I wish this was just inside your menu, personally. I wish I didn't have to go through that, because a lot of people on Twitter I've seen don't even know how to access their profile. But yeah, that's how you do it. I wish that was just on the menu over here. But besides that, another obvious one is just having the items in the overworld not completely stop you, because I mean, in previous Pokemon games, you know, if you're picking up an item from the overworld, it would stop you, but now you can just keep running. You picked up a super potion, you keep running. It's such good quality of life. I love it. With how much quality of life there is, honestly, all this game needs is its performance issues fixed. And if they just keep adding to this game, like if they just keep adding, like if they just drop the DLC for the next 3 years for this game, like a new DLC every year that adds more Pokemon and all that, like adds new areas, I would be happy, because like this game has such a good like gameplay loop. I know it's only been out for like over a week, maybe 2 weeks at this point, but like honestly, I can see myself just playing this game endlessly as long as they just keep adding content. And if the performance issues are fixed, the performance issues personally don't like disparage me from playing the game at all, but it would literally, if the performance issues were fixed, this game would be damn near a 10 out of 10. Like this game is so good, it's just let down by the performance. I do want to make like more of an in-depth review and not so much of like a ramble video about this. I'm trying to find a trainer I haven't battled yet, because I know there is some I haven't battled yet, because it leads me to the next quality of life, is that if you accidentally get into a trainer battle that you're not leveled enough for, as long as it's not like, you know, important, like if you get in a battle with a gym leader, you can't do this, but if you get into a trainer battle with an NPC, you can just straight up run from the trainer battle. It will count it as a loss and you will lose some money, but you honestly don't lose that much. This happened to me when I was first playing the game. I ran into a trainer at the Pokemon League with a crocodile, and I was way under leveled for it, so I just ran because I didn't know that was a thing you could do. Yeah, you can run and you lose a little bit of money, but that's a new feature in this game. Amazing quality of life. Some more quality of life that people seem to really enjoy is how easily accessible raids are. It's so much easier to find raids with the Poke Portal. All you got to do is come here to this Terra raid battle sort of section, and yeah, I mean, raids pop up here. It is possible to, I mean, I'm in offline mode, but if you're in online mode, you get like 8 raids and you can just join one of them. And I mean, yeah, you might not be able to join fast enough because there's God knows how many people trying to join at the same time. But I mean, it hasn't been too bad for me when I've been trying to join raids. I've been able to join raids fairly consistently. And that's just like how easy it is to get into raids is a huge quality of life. Yeah, I will say the raids aren't perfect. The raids definitely are a little bit laggy sometimes, so hopefully that's something that they can fix too. Another interesting quality of life is trading. Like I said, this is interesting. I'm going to do an offline mode trade with my secondary Switch Lite that I'm playing Pokemon Violet on, and basically I don't know how this works, right? So if you look at these Pokemon, the Dunsparce, Wugtrio, Vavroom, Plush, like these guys are all glowing and jumping. Now, what that suggests to me is that this player hasn't obtained these Pokemon, but this account is fairly fresh. Like I have a Toedscruel, which I traded to myself. I have an Eevee, I have a Vaporeon, I have a Lechonk, and then I've got the full evolution of Meowscarada, and that's it. This Violet account doesn't have any of these other Pokemon. It doesn't have a Scizor, doesn't have a Tyranitar, doesn't have a Pikachu. So I'm not sure. Maybe it only does the first 5. Yeah, it must only be the first 5, which is, I feel like that might be a bug. It seems to only be showing the first 5, and maybe it's just a suggestion of what you can trade, and it must limit it to 5. But yeah, that is a thing. It will glow and jump around if your buddy doesn't have these Pokemon. I believe that is what it's doing. If you have any other suggestions on what it could be doing, please let me know. But that's a cool quality of life. If only it worked for everything. I had a thought that maybe it only worked if the person had seen the Pokemon, but that's not the case at all, because like I said, this one right here is a pretty fresh Nintendo Switch account, and it's never seen a Fomantis, it's never seen a Heracross, but it's still doing the glowing and jumping. So I imagine it must just be the first 5 Pokemon. I don't know, it might be a bug, but yeah, that is another quality of life that this game has. You don't have to constantly ask your friend, oh, do you have this Pokemon? Maybe just for the first 5 though, and hopefully they've released a bug patch for this, if it's a bug. I mean, I don't really know how it's a good feature otherwise if it's just going to show 5 Pokemon. Anyways, yeah, quality of life, I guess. I finally found a trainer that I hadn't battled yet. If you click run, would you like to give up in this battle and quit now? Quitting battles are the same as losing the battle. There you go. I'm personally not going to quit because I don't want to lose money and because I don't really want to find this guy again. But if you do quit, you will lose some money. It's not much, I promise, but it just means you can run away from NPCs now, which is really cool. So on the topic of multiplayer, Pokemon Scarlet, Pokemon Violet, obviously they've got their own version exclusives, and something that they've actually done in this game is made it so, you know, obviously because if you go into each other's multiplayer worlds, you can see each other now in the overworld, and that actually affects spawns. So if I, a Scarlet player, am playing with my friend Luke, a Violet player, if we were to go into each other's area zeros, we start seeing each other's exclusive Pokemon, and I can catch future Pokemon in Scarlet with my own trainer ID. You do need to be standing next to each other because if Luke's not in the same area as me, the Pokemon won't spawn, but they've made it much cooler to get version exclusives in this game than just trading for them. You really can catch them all as long as you have friends. Now it's time for the big one that I've been really excited to talk about. Moves. Moves are an integral part of the game. So what I personally do is I personally turn off we skip move learning, because if a Pokemon's going from level 1 to level 100, it's going to learn a lot of moves. And I don't care about that because I'm going to work on its moveset later when it's, you know, perfected and ready for battle. And, you know, from the team screen right here, I can go to Talonflame, I can click summary, and then I can just change its moves and I can remember moves. You can learn moves on the fly. No pun intended. Which is an amazing quality of life, because in the past you'd have to get a heart scale and talk to someone, and it goes even deeper than just learning moves that you've learned. If you teach a Pokemon a TM and then you get rid of that TM, that Pokemon will continue to have that TM in their memory bank basically, and you can relearn it without using another TM. So let's take Pyrax here, for example. Pyrax learns Earthquake and U-Turn by TM only. So if I were to go here, remember moves, U-Turn, Earthquake. Because I've taught this Pokemon Earthquake and U-Turn before when I was running it as a banded set, I decided to change it to a bulk up set for raids, but I was running it as a banded set. So I had U-Turn instead of Morning Sun, and I had Earthquake instead of Lunge, or bulk up rather. This thing, I got rid of them, and I was like, man, I wasted TMs. But no, it also worked like this in Sword and Shield for TRs, but it's really cool that they just straight up remember them. Like, such good quality of life. And one more thing in regards to movesets and quality of life, you actually don't have to bother breeding egg moves anymore. You heard that right. I tested this myself last night. The only way a Tinkaton can learn Ice Hammer is with an egg move from Crabominable. However, I didn't have to breed it. I used my in-game Tinkaton, and this is how you do it. You give the Pokemon you want to learn the egg move a Mirror Herb. Mirror Herbs can be bought from the Delibird presents. Give it the Mirror Herb and delete a move, which you can do easily from the move menu. You can just forget a move. Like, there's no special person you have to talk to, just delete a move. Once you've done that, make sure the Pokemon you want to learn the move from has the move you're trying to learn, and just put those 2 Pokemon by themselves in your party. And then you just open up a picnic. I don't know if you have to wait a little while or what you have to do. I waited a little minute just to make sure. And then I closed out the picnic, and there it was. Tinkaton knew Ice Hammer. So you can Mirror Herb over egg moves, and the Mirror Herb doesn't get consumed. You only need 1 Mirror Herb, and you can do this forever. I don't think gender is an issue because my Crabominable and my Tinkaton were both females. And that leads us to my very, very last sort of like tip, quality of life, and that is that previously fully consumable items are no longer fully consumed. I'm going to show you guys. I have a throat spray on my paprika. I could use some throat spray right now. I'm feeling sick, boys. We've got throat spray, and this thing is not gonna die. I mean, I'm level 100. I'm gonna Oko it, but these guys always guaranteed live. So I'm gonna show you guys that I'm not lying to you. This works for everything, I believe, except berries, because berries are, I mean, pretty easy to come by. So I'm gonna Torch Song here, which Torch Song, of course, is it's a sound move, which means throat spray gets activated. We get the +1 attack, special attack boost from just the move in general. We also then get the throat spray, which it then says it's been used up. But that's not permanent. That's just, oh, it got used up and you don't have an item anymore. That's basically all it's saying. So I'm going to finish this battle off. Slacking goes down. And as you can see, Paprika still has a throat spray. So you guys can use like crazy, like competitive teams in game, which is what I was doing personally. I was running like, you know, Choice Scarf, throat spray. I was running some crazy mons in game and having a blast. I love team building. And yeah, that is pretty much all the quality of life that I can think of and that people have replied to me with. A lot of really, really cool stuff, I'm going to be honest. And I really hope that they keep this quality of life up in future Pokemon games. This game has been, it has been made, in my opinion, by its quality of life. If there's anything I missed, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I think a big one people will probably say is shiny Pokemon not having a sparkle in the overworld. Yeah, that is quality of life, especially for those that, you know, are colorblind and stuff like that. I personally prefer it because it's like a lot more surprising when I see a shiny, but obviously that's just like a sort of like a selfish perspective on my part. So that is another quality of life that we have lost. But overall, the quality of life in this game is amazing, and I honestly I can't wait to see what they do next. Part of me thinks like I don't know how they top this. Like, how do they make a game better than this besides performance? You know, like in terms of quality of life, they've just hit the nail on the head. Like, it is perfect. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on everything in the comments. Appreciate you guys watching. Have a good day.